Hello and welcome to the Triangle Podcast, episode 8. And my voice may sound deeper than usual. It's puberty hitting in. That's all it is.
Oh.
Nah, I currently have a strep throat, but I'm gonna work through this and make it happen. Just don't touch me, guys. I'm Christian.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Jesus.
And today we will be... Well, we missed a few days. Let's be real. We're off a few days. We had plans and whatnot.
Let's be honest. Let's be real.
We got to keep real with ourselves. Yeah. We're recording this on Tuesday, the 20th of November. And,
November?
Oh,
November.
wow. Yeah, I'm going to throw this way back. No, yeah, I'm sorry.
He's faded.
We're recording in December 20th. We couldn't record last Friday because everybody's work schedule and school, well, not school schedule, but like getting back from school, plans and whatnot. But, so I was trying to figure out what did we miss in NBA, and truthfully, I can't even say we missed much. Like everything went almost according to plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, looking at the power rankings, what happened to the Clippers?
That's what I was gonna get. That's what we were gonna get
you
to.
plummet that far
so much.
And I think next podcast we should definitely dive into our new power rankings.
Yeah, it's just it's that mid-season, not mid-season, but getting close.
Yeah.
Guys, sometimes you're on that high horse and you
it's
fall off fast.
It's like the teams that you were shocked with in the beginning are just falling back into
fading.
form.
It's the third of the NBA season's already over with.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad to admit
how fast it's going, right?
Because it's already December 20th.
I want to discuss this with you guys because I don't know if we have it, on the list. But what do you guys? I think we should discuss guys resting so early in the season.
Yeah, I was just talking to Christian about
Honestly,
that.
let's start it with that. Obviously, when we say this, we're talking about the Cavaliers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I assume.
Yeah. Against the Memphis Grizzlies, which I'm very surprised because they're not
going down without a fight.
They're not a pushover team.
Even with Conley hurt, they're still looking like this is really questioning to me. Even with Conley hurt, they're what I thought was their best player, at least one of their best players.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't understand.
They're still working.
Do you agree with all three superstars of Cleveland sitting out in an away game this early in the season?
No, not at all, because these guys are competitors. Kyrie Irving is only 24 years old, 25
what is he
years
sitting
old.
for? I mean, I know he was hurt.
The dude only played 10 games in college.
It's not like it's Tim Duncan.
What you need fresh legs for? And the thing is, and it's not because they don't want to play at all, but let's say if they play limited minutes, that takes a shot on their stats. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's a lie if you don't think players are looking at their stats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I feel like if they play 20 minutes, they only drop 10 points. That takes a big plummet on your stats.
Not only does it, they lost the game because of it. That's
they
one.
lost 2 in a row to Memphis at home and on the road.
Also, we'll get to it next. Grizzlies beat the Warriors, man.
Yeah, by what, 20 plus?
A solid amount of points. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the UFC 206 fight.
Yeah.
And, in the background, we saw Grizzlies just handing it to the Warriors, man.
Taking them to work, yeah.
Completely handing it to them. But, now that you see Cavaliers resting, there was, a big controversy of, people paying good money to see these people in action.
Yeah, I would hate that.
So the controversy is, is it fair?
No.
Almost?
I don't think it's fair. I mean, I can understand as an athlete point of view, LeBron wants to get some rest in between games on road trips and everything because he wants to be good for the playoffs, along with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, because it's going to be a tough spot to get back to the finals and maybe beat the Golden State Warriors again. So I can understand why, as an athlete's point of view, where they could where they're resting, and the Spurs have done it throughout the years as well.
Spurs had old men, though.
Yeah, it was doing their declining years. But only one I really see the resting early in the season is LeBron James, because LeBron James is 32 years old. And you got to think about it, this man hasn't missed the playoffs his entire career.
Why start now?
So no, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? That's a lot of mileage. Going to the playoffs every year. Basically, he's playing 9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And not including the Olympics, and they have another one that's in the middle of FIBA. Yeah. That's a lot of basketball.
Even after the season, he trains for the upcoming season. But so he's never out of shape.
Then you look at Kyrie Irving, who's in his early 20s and already, you know what I mean? But hey, players are going to take that up. And you know what I mean? It's going to spread, because I'm pretty sure DeMarcus Cousins damn, I've been playing 35 minutes a game. I've been putting up 35 plus shots. I think I'm going to rest. And it's good for the players because it will turn your 14-year career into a 17-year career.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Taking less minutes and not working your body as hard, but I think this early in the season is bad.
And still you gotta think about it. And NBA is a market, and you're over here sitting your players when you're
all these
attraction
fans
team.
are coming in to like see LeBron James.
Like
I agree.
That has to be hurting.
I know they were injured, so I understand it. But me and Christian, we went to a Lakers game. Was it 3 years ago? 3
years. Wow,
3 years ago, yeah. And nobody was there. Paul Gasol wasn't playing. Nick Young wasn't playing. Kobe wasn't playing.
It was, we saw Steve Nash, and even
I think he only played minimal minutes, like 20.
Yeah, it's really not.
Wow.
It ruins some of the experience, to be honest, because you go there to see your favorite players
Yeah.
play.
And all these people travel all over the world to see these
Well, it was
people
away
play.
for the Cavs, I think, or was it home?
Which
Yeah,
honestly,
they went
I
to
think
Memphis
I
and
think it
LeBron
makes it
didn't
even
play.
worse because you could go to if you're in Cleveland, you could go to a Cavaliers game. I'm not saying every day, but you have more chances to go.
But being in Memphis,
Especially since it's a West Coast team, you get a chance to see
only two times.
But on your side of the state, in your side of the country, you only get to see them once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In your
Sucks.
state, so you
'Cause they're
missed
in
that
different
one
conferences.
opportunity.
Yeah, it wasn't even like the East they sit out. They sat on a West game. They only played 2 times in a season. Like,
And like to the Grizzlies, like they're not even a bad team.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have just waited till you face the Nets or the
76ers, like somebody you're playing 4 times in a season.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't find that fair. But let's move on to our next topic, and it's the Grizzlies. Man, they're pretty damn good.
I don't understand how they're this good without Mike Conley. I really don't get it.
I think it's just a lot of factors.
What's that
working in
Jay-Z
for them.
song though? This is how I think of them. That Jay-Z song. He's real. He's good, but he's not real. You ever heard that song?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm a big Hole fan.
I gotta look up the song, but I know there's a song that is like he's good, but he's not real, and that's what the Grizzlies are.
So not a legitimate threat, even though
No, not at all.
they beat the Warriors
Not at all.
and Cavs.
Not
twice.
at all.
Well,
Not
the
at all.
Cavs might have been, but
That was a
they
fluke.
didn't beat
That
them.
not at all. They're not.
I mean,
they'll
I'm
make
the
it to the
one-
playoffs and won't make it out the next round.
I'm the one that predicted they won't make the playoffs. So, I mean, without Mike Conley gone till I believe beginning of February now, I think he's predicted to come back. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
They'll sneak in
But
there.
they are
Eighth
doing
seed.
really good.
Speaking
so
of
far.
not making the playoff, Jesse was talking about this earlier. What you think of the Timberwolves, man?
Oh my goodness. I don't understand how 3 future stars in this league can be putting up 20 points a game in Karl Anthony Towns, Zach LaVine, and Andrew Wiggins, and they're sitting at, 8-9 wins in the season?
Now, I know they're looking to get a more dominant center. Not Anthony Towns, obviously, but they're looking to get in a veteran center.
Hey,
which
good center, Peklovich. What happened to him?
I don't honestly don't know what happened
they
to
got
him.
Gorgie
but
Dang,
they
too.
that's what I was going to say. They still got a good center in Gorgie Dang, who is not no scrub at all.
No.
And I just don't know what's wrong with them. Like, one, their defense is still a problem.
And
They have a
Tom
young
Thibodeau
defense.
is a great
Amazing
coach.
coach.
That,
Great
that's what I'm
defensive
trying
coach.
to. That's what I'm trying to figure out, and I just don't understand how a team like you said with 3 stars and they're playing like damn near star players right now. Like, what is going wrong for them? And if it's not coaching, if it's not the playing wise, then do you think they might need to make some trades to build around their talent,
like when the
or is it too early?
When the Pelicans have more wins than you, there really is a problem.
Yeah, and the Pelicans were at the start of the season, 0-10?
Yeah,
But now that they're getting the injuries back,
Yeah, Drew Holiday back, and
Tyreek Evans
Anthony
just
Davis
came back.
balling.
Tim Frazier's still a god.
I'm guessing just the West does look pretty tough. Like the teams that are in playoff contentions, they really are good teams. They aren't scrubs. So
The West will always be tough, though.
I just think maybe we were, had very, very high hopes.
I
for
think
them.
everyone did.
I honestly think that's what it is. Maybe our hopes were too high too soon.
I think my hopes were really high because I had them as I believe a 7th or 8th seed in the West, and
But
they're
I
at the
feel
bottom
like
of the
with
conference.
Thibodeau, that was going to be wow. Like
Me
they
too.
really got it.
Great
You know what I
defense.
mean?
But who knows? The season, surprisingly, yes, is still young. And I can see them turning around. A lot of teams are going to slow down now through this. And you can see that, like, the Clippers are declining. A lot of teams are, headed downwards. And maybe this is where they can pick up. And if the Timberwolves really were thinking about this is the right time to pick up when these teams, obviously players are resting. Players aren't playing as many minutes because they're going into the mid-season form. Maybe this is the time that they should try to pick up their game.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the topic of Clippers, right now we're just going to do an overview of some teams that we think are just either succeeding or
Losing
falling down.
Yeah.
Clippers, man. I mean, we always said since the very beginning, even when they were the first power ranked team, I even said I'm not putting them number one because I don't consider them the biggest threat. And now it's kind of falling into place, and Clippers are doing what Clippers do. That's how I feel.
The Clippers are they're a fourth seed, but they're just the gatekeepers for the elite teams in the West. They're I'm talking about the Spurs and the Clippers. I mean the Spurs and the Warriors. You know what I mean? They're always.
It might be even debatable, even with such a great start that they had. Blake Griffin just got hurt again.
Yeah, he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
He's gonna be
He's
done.
getting his knee
surgery.
drained. If I'm not,
Something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't sound like the most serious thing.
Sounds like he won't be returning to this team. And this sucks about this injury because no one's going to, a guy who, relies on his athleticism, he's with an injury like this, and it's not really an injury too bad.
It's a minor injury.
Yeah,
he's
Arthur's
going to be gone a month.
But now that makes teams not interested because, you know what I mean, once it comes to one injury, 2 injuries, the last season he missed 80% of the season.
Yeah. Has there been, sorry to interrupt, has there been a season where he's been completely healthy?
Oh, yeah.
Even I think his first official season.
He was out the entire year, I think. So
No.
When he first
I'm
got
saying his first official, him stepping onto
Oh,
a court.
yeah, but that was the young Blake. So.
Last year was most amount of time because he usually isn't as injury prone as he is now. But it just makes other teams not really attracted to him as much, with this injury. And then the Clippers are going to lose out because he's going to leave at the end of the season, and teams are just going to wait to bait on him. So it does suck for the Clippers. So if they do make a move, it better be quick.
Yeah, because if you I'm looking at the games that they've lost over the past few weeks. They lost to the Washington Wizards, they lost to the Warriors, the Pacers, the Brooklyn Nets, the Detroit Pistons. These aren't teams.
It sounds like they just don't come to town with those games.
These teams you should not be losing to. You know what I mean? I can understand the Warriors because they're their kryptonite, but the Wizards, the Nets, the Pistons,
Pacers, even.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's inexcusable.
I see them. They're doing what Clippers do, and they just aren't making it. They can't sustain where they are.
Now, before we move on, do you think now that Blake is out for a good month and a half,
who knows? That's when they can go on the run because that's what they did last year.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Do you think they will do the same thing as last year? Or do you think they'll fall even?
I think they'll stay exactly where they are.
Okay.
I don't see them fall. All right, so here's the thing with the West: the great teams in the West are great, and the bottom of the teams kind of just fall out from there. But now talking about the West, we got a surprisingly great team this year with the Rockets.
Oh my goodness! I think they set the record for most
threes in a game.
24, yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm happy to see who's on that team. I'm very happy to see get going because we all knew James Harden is an MVP contender. It has to be Eric Gordon.
Ryan Anderson is really impressing me too.
Well, Ryan Anderson
was good. He's always that great, efficient player. But Eric Gordon, this is a guy who's always been injured and we've always wanted to see him be elite, and now we're actually witnessing it.
And not only has he been injured, he was on a Pelicans team that nobody really cared about. So now he's getting more of a spotlight.
He's come off the bench too.
Yeah. Now, what I see when I hear the Rockets, I just see right now. Currently, they just got their 10-game winning streak snapped by the Spurs. It's the Spurs. They only lost by 2 points nonetheless. And it was a go-ahead 3 with 12.9 seconds left. But when I see the Rockets doing real good and seeing James Harden performances every day, this is just furthering the point that I think James Harden might really win MVP.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it does. If his team is top 3 by the end of the season, I can see it go favoring to his side. And the Rockets... maybe with Mike D'Antoni's system, it does work. The only thing that will make them actually really elite is playing more defense, as in James Harden playing a more efficient defense against stars because they have great positions because you have James Harden running the point, who's a triple threat. He can knock down 3, he can penetrate, and he can shoot the free throw. Mm-hmm. And then you guys got Trevor Ariza, who sits out there at the 3.
Great defender.
A 3-and-D guy, you know what I mean? Plays defense and can shoot the 3 really well. We know about Ryan Anderson. He's a dagger from 3. Eric Gordon, he's a dagger from 3.
I read a stat today, and it was that Gordon is sitting atop shooting better than Curry right now.
Yeah.
From the 3-point.
Yeah, obviously, we know it. There, Curry is shooting in people's faces. And,
it wasn't inflated, though. When I tell you he might have took maybe 10 less shots than Curry.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, they're not as contested as Curry does it right off the dribble.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But they're still very impressive.
I think James Harden and Eric Gordon combined have more 3-pointers made than Curry and Thompson, if I'm not wrong.
Well, Thompson had the rough start, and also Durant is another focus on the team.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy to think about, though. The two best 3-point shooters are trying to catch up to James Harden and Eric Gordon.
But offensively, they're really hard to beat. I'm talking about they're like Warriors hard to beat offensively because when James Harden penetrates, he has that beautiful Euro step. He's going to get to the rim. So obviously you got to close out. Then you have an athletic center with Quentin Capella, who I'm very impressed with.
Yeah, he's been impressing me.
I always get his name.
Yeah, he said Quentin.
He's so young.
He just got injured, by the way.
Oh, really?
That's
harsh.
But he's the type of guy like James Harden. It's scary. It's like when that help defender comes, to guard James Harden because you can't take a one-on-one.
Yeah.
You're not sure what to do. Are you going to take the strong side and was a takeaway Quentin Capella's Clinton Capella's
not Clinton, just Clint. Yeah.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's just Clint.
Clint Capella.
Clint Capella.
Clint Capella. I'm just gonna say Capella. Capella's eyes at the rim. So that drags a guy away from the wing, and then he gonna kick it out to Ryan Anderson, Trevor Reeves, or Eric Gordon.
Too many threats.
It's just too many threats.
They got snipers on that
team. So offensively,
really
and the only thing that they have to do is just be like the Warriors 2 years ago, play efficient defense, run back on fast breaks, even if you turn
the ball
over,
which is really important.
If they get a turnover, run down there, play hard defense the whole way, and
commit a foul if you have to.
You have a great defensive point guard in Patrick Beverly, and
did you hear what he said the other day?
He thinks
compared himself to Gary Payton, the glove.
I think defensively, he's probably up there. The glove did have a lot of steals in it.
Yeah, Gary Payton is a Hall of Famer.
He's the glove
but you gotta remember back then they were playing. There wasn't really zone. It was hand checking and stuff like that.
Man defense.
But for a guy for such a point guard driven league, he's always at the top of all NBA defense.
I'll agree.
Which means a lot. James Harden just got to step it up just a little bit more and guard these all stars because that's who's guarding him at the other end.
Yep. Now, did you know that they just played the Spurs tonight and they lost by 2 points? Fortunately, they had a 10-game winning streak before that loss tonight.
Yeah, I said
they've been
snapped
cooking.
a 10-game winning streak.
Very impressive.
Now talking about a streak, let's talk about the Lakers losing streak they were on for a brief minute.
They did lose to the Hornets, by the way, by 4 points.
Yeah, they lost to the Hornets today. They were up in a lead, and to me, it's just showing that even though they had a beautiful start, that they're still a young team.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They did have a very hot start beating the Warriors, beating elite teams. But let's be honest, these are really young guys. These guys are not.
Sometimes I have to remind myself that we're still young. Like I expected not anything close to this, and now that I'm getting it, I can't even be like.
I'm really surprised they lost to the Nets, though.
Hey, that's beat the Clippers. I'm not sure. But we got to remember, the Laker team, besides Timothy Mozgov, I think their starting line is under the age of 25.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? These guys are super duper. I forget Luol Deng is a starter.
Yeah,
besides those two guys, I mean, if you put Clarkson in the starting lineup, I think Clarkson is 25, if I'm not wrong, 24. Younger. Yeah, so we have to realize that this team is super young and they're still developing.
With a first-year coach.
With Luke Walton, who I think is still doing a phenomenal job.
I'm not even that. I mean, I'm worried only reason because we're not going to have a draft pick this year if we don't have top three protected. Mm-hmm. So that kind of would hurt, but it also is a good free agency this year. Maybe a player would like to come to an uprising team
because they do have money. That's one
thing. We do have money.
Cali too,
And also, this losing streak all started when Russell went down. Then we had Young go down for a bit. We had Randall go down. We had Nance go down. He just went down again today.
He had a knee injury.
I like Larry. I've Lance a lot. I really hope this team is
for a second. Yep. Let's just talk about that dunk he had on Brook Lopez.
Oh man, even his team on the other
dunk
end.
of the year.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that's whoa.
What's up with Brook Lopez? I think he needs to leave Brooklyn because the old man. He's on the Magic. Jeff. Oh my god! Jeff Green dunked all over him. I think he also got dunked on by Gordon in the same game. Like, come on, bro!
Yeah, Gordon's looking good.
Dude, get out of the way, big fella.
Yeah, not Jeff Green when I say young guys, but these young guys are coming in hot. But while we just talking about dunk contests real quick, wouldn't you love Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, Larry Nance, and I don't know.
Terrence Ross.
I'd love Aaron.
Terrence Ross been killing it.
He's
Yeah,
been
him
on
too.
that windmill tear.
I'd love
those
Andrew
four.
Wiggins to even be in the dunk contest.
I guess LeBron really isn't going to commit in the dunk contest.
I would love to see
He
Westbrook.
never. Ooh, I'd like that.
Westbrook, he always said he's only an in-game dunker, and I can see that. I've never seen.
It's pure athleticism.
Yeah, I've never really seen him do anything special.
Flashy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and last team we want to talk about. Let's talk about the Knicks, Jesse. I talked about my Lakers, only satisfying you talk about your Knicks. So, how you feel about them? They did have a couple games winning streak, and I know they brought themselves back into the conference, which, I mean, it's the East, so I don't know how much it's saying, but how do you feel about them? Do you think they're working right now?
I think they're working right now, but arguably we're sitting at 15-13. We did have a 3-game losing streak before tonight. We just beat Indiana 118-111. Porzingis, he's looking really, really good. He's better than he was last year. He's putting up amazing performances. I think he scored 21 points tonight. He's having a really good season this year, and I really think in due time, like, this kid is going to be really special for the New York Knicks. I hope he stays because this is his contract year. So hopefully he gets another extension with the New York Knicks. I really hope he doesn't leave.
I think,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
He wouldn't be putting on the type of show he did. Especially, I remember him coming to Madison Square Garden. Everyone booed him. I mean, not Madison Square Garden.
So did I.
Rockefeller Center
The
from
draft?
in the draft.
So did I. I'm not
Everyone booed him. Everyone didn't have faith in
Considered him a joke.
But this man is a legit future all-star. This guy can ball out. He is a skilled player. When guys talk about a big guy who can do almost everything, we know he can do everything. Not only on the offensive side, but this guy gets what I always watch a game. He's getting at least 2 blocks, and they're always big blocks.
What I just gotta see is a post game develop. And when I say post game, I'm not talking about like.
I think it's pretty good
I'm
now.
not talking about posting somebody and fading.
Beautiful post game.
I'm not saying posting somebody and fading away.
I'm talking dunking all over their face.
I'm talking about more moves inside the paint. I just feel like he's a little scrawny.
The dude. I think he's not even 21 yet.
I know. I'm not underlining his shot. I'm just saying I would like to see him get a little more scrappy in the paint. When I say post game, I mean real backing somebody down.
But what was it?
Because even Dirk, people compare him to, never really had a nice moves on the real inside 3 feet inside the basket.
But what was it? We saw him have that little scuffle with the Suns, with
and Brandon Jennings picking up his shorts, ready to scrap.
Christie and all them guys, and I'm happy to see him. Kind of tell him, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be in your face this whole game. I think he's a really tough kid, and you know what I mean. He's one of those kids who, when he came into the league, some guys get intimidated about the game, like they get scared. This guy's been playing in Europe for a couple years before he came to the NBA. He is a dead eye in that. And, Carmelo, we all know Carmelo Anthony has his own future in his hands. He could do whatever. The ball is literally in his court. So I would like to see Carmelo Anthony maybe leave this season or next season.
I'd like to see him get traded because it's the better.
He could trade himself. That's the only way.
It's the better for his career. He wants a ring. Go out.
Remove the trade clause.
For future notice, I do want to discuss an episode, maybe obviously before the trade deadline, but I want to discuss an episode where we dive down on like a bunch of teams and discuss if players should be traded. Like if we were a GM,
that sounds good.
I think that was a cool topic. I was thinking about it while I was cleaning up at Adidas today about my job. And but speaking of, now we're talking about Porzingis. Speaking of a guy who basically is him, or he's the younger version of Dirk. He said reportedly that he's thinking about retirement. So how do you guys feel about that?
Dirk Nowitzki, he's one of my favorite all-time players. When he proved a lot when he beat LeBron, Wade, and Chris Bosh in 2011.
Dude's an MVP.
Yeah, he was the Finals MVP. He won was he 2-time NBA MVP in the regular season, or just once?
Just
once. And he been to the Finals against Dwayne Wade in 2006, and they were up 2-0. And then Dwayne Wade came all the way back with Shaq, and they won the series in 6. I mean, Dirk has always been that player. I'm pretty sure he's top 15, top 10 in the scoring list. Like,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, number 6 or number 7 in that, in that region.
This guy, he has had a tremendous career. He spent it all with the Dallas Mavericks. He's played with Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Jason Terry. It's just phenomenal players. He has a championship ring.
Without a doubt, probably the greatest foreign player to ever touch the court.
Arguably, could be maybe one of the best power forwards to play the game.
Oh, without a doubt, he's top 10.
Amazingly.
Without a doubt.
Top 5, maybe.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So he'll be a Hall of Famer one day. If he does decide to hang it up, that team will be in the right path to having a good future. Because look at who owns the team.
Yeah, Mark Cuban is a great
He's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's going to put money. He always puts money in the team, and he looks out for the team. Dirk Nowitzki, when you think about him, he's iconic.
Yeah.
You know how everyone, Jordan has the jump man. Dr. J has that little windmill. He has the turnaround. When you guys play ball, when you do a little turn away fade, everybody yells Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? And
I do it.
kick the leg out.
Say
Well,
Dirk.
one foot.
And it would suck I just hate to watch a player leave on an injury and not
On a low note, right?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's nothing he can control because he wants to play ball, but it's just not looking right for him.
Truthfully, the way I feel is, I would just wish he would have retired on his upside. Imagine he retired right after he won the ring or something like that. Like,
Well, he
Maybe
still
not
had a
that.
couple.
I know
maybe
he,
not
I know
that
he had
bad.
a few more years after.
Because I think
but
he had like 2 more All-Stars after that.
Yeah, I think so.
well, yeah, but it was at a point where it was like some pity all stars. But yeah, I just feel like it sucks to retire now, but when that team is so bad. But
Hey, but it's the right time to retire because all the GOATs are retiring.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? Don't
Yeah.
we look like some good classes that?
and not only that, if he retires, let's say at the end of this year, in like what's the you gotta wait 5 years? Is it or
Yeah,
10?
to get into Hall of Fame.
Whatever you gotta wait. I mean, he might be on the class by himself.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it, who's next in line? It's gonna be LeBron's era. LeBron, Wade, Bosh, all them guys.
The only
gotta go with Duncan.
the only debatable Hall of Famer I see retiring soon besides Nowitzki is Vince Carter, maybe.
or Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce is
retiring
retiring.
this year.
Yep,
Yeah, I
there
forgot
you go.
about that.
It's another one. Now, speaking of retiring, how could you not mention Timmy D? Just officially got his jersey hung up.
Mr. Fundamentals.
Real
best-
quick, what you guys think about that?
Do you think he's the best power forward ever?
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
He's
thank
top 5, probably one of the top 5 greatest players ever played, arguably.
you. Arguably. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a guy who he played in the early 90s when, centers had good moves, but he had phenomenal moves. He hit a shot 18 off the glass. And not only on his offensive side, but on the defensive side. This man was one of the only guys who you
Couldn't
would
protect the rim.
notably played great offense, but notably played great defense, being an all-NBA defensive player and being a 2-time MVP. You don't see that quite often.
Yeah, arguably, I still think like toward the end of his career, like when he retired last year, and the past few seasons before that, I still think he was maybe one of the greatest power forwards defensively wise, maybe not offensively because his game did fade from the offensive side. But defense,
He didn't have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because look at the Spurs. You know what I mean? They got Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Marcus Aldridge, Kawhi, and then Greg Popovich. Honestly, probably the greatest coach in NBA history. Behind probably Phil Jackson.
I would make that argument.
But if you think about it, Phil Jackson, Tim Duncan still had it on defense. He played amazing defense. People wouldn't come in the paint because Tim Duncan. Obviously, Tim Duncan would lock him up. They'd get his shot blocked or he'd contest the shot. Tim Duncan, arguably the best power forward ever.
Yeah, and that's just another player that played through generations.
Yeah,
and that's what I was going to mention.
Played through the 90s, through the
2000s
to the 2010s.
Yeah,
like,
and mid 2000s.
yeah, he got a long way in.
And he
man.
played with one team and one coach.
Yeah,
that says a lot about one real player.
When you haven't missed the playoffs your entire, this man does not know how it feels to not be in the playoffs, which I think him and Coach Popovich are the only tandem to ever their whole career on one team and not miss the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they're the only two player and coach to win. What was the multi 55+ season?
Yeah, I think it was
games.
15 straight seasons they won, like 50 plus games.
Yeah, and probably 19 because he's been there. He was there for 19 years. But a guy who didn't come from a big school. He didn't come from Kentucky. He didn't come from North Carolina.
Indiana.
Came from Wake Forest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a big center from the Cayman Islands. And who knew this guy would have such a big impact on the game to be notably one of the best big men to ever play the floor.
I think he went into the best system, though, because if you think about it, he was the first overall pick. He played with David Robinson and Greg Popovich was his coach.
Also, it was a system that preserved him. We're talking about players being rested. He was used great.
Perfectly.
He was used great because of that. He How many injuries did this guy have?
Not many.
I don't recall him missing seasons.
The thing is, he played his game. He didn't do anything extra that he had to do. He didn't have to be a high flyer. He didn't have to. We have a guy who, 19 seasons. Have you ever seen him celebrate? Like after a big move?
I was just about to say that.
He wasn't even happy when he retired. He was like, "Hey, thank you, San Antonio, peace."
Like we're talking about one of the greatest of all time, and he has no ego to him. He doesn't have a bad temper. Did you guys see his ceremony?
Yeah, he kept it simple and quick.
Yeah, kept it simple. And Ginobili gave a little story saying how after one game in the finals, I'm pretty sure it was maybe Western Conference Finals, where Ginobili blew the game and Ginobili cut off his phone, didn't want to talk to anybody, and somebody kept blowing up his phone. So it came to a point where he unplugged it from the wall and whatnot. And then all he heard was a knock on his door, and Tim Duncan showed up, and he was like, "Hey, let's go out to dinner." And Ginobili didn't want to go, and it was a good story, and it just shows you how genuine of a person Tim Duncan was. Like, he wasn't a celebrity; he was just a human being that liked to play basketball.
Yeah, you would not know this man is a 2-time MVP.
And 5 rings, is it?
Yeah, 5 rings.
Ridiculous.
Been to the finals multiple times.
Multiple-time All-Star.
And it's excellent to see on the end of his career, this man was still going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to be the wrap-up of our overview of what happened. But now let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into what we had previously. It's called Fast Break. Now, this segment is basically a debate almost. I'm going to throw, whoever the judge is, in this case, I'm going to be the judge. And I'm going to throw questions at both Jesus and Jesse that they are completely blind to. They can't use their phones. They can't use their laptops. They have no type of access to that world. And I'm going to throw them questions, and they're going to have to answer it. Whoever said the answer first, they got whatever answer you say first, you have to stick with, and you're going to argue it out for 5 minutes. And I'm going to be the judge, and I'll decide based off arguments who won that fight. And we're going to go down. We're going to try to do 5 fights, and we're going to see
5 fights?
5 different arguments.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
5 different questions.
Get excited.
Yeah.
It's...
And, we're on the MMA podcast right now.
Yeah. And for the MMA podcast, for anybody listening, what we do is we do it by scorecard, because that's more MMA based. Right now, we don't really have anything like that in NBA.
I won a quarter.
But, yeah, maybe you can see it like that, who's winning the quarter. But, yeah, it's just going to be based off who wins each question, and whoever ends with the most questions won is the winner. Okay. Now, I am 1-0. Jesus is 0-1. Jesse is 0-0. He hasn't
I haven't done this yet. I've done it on MMA, got my ass whooped, but
got his ass handed to him.
I'm going to come back strong.
All right, but let's start it off like this. As I ask the question, I'm going to go get my pen and pad so I can take notes and decide who's the winner. And I'm going to start with the first question, and it's going to be, any NBA player who was the most held back by injuries?
Oh, my goodness. Of all time or this generation?
Of all time.
Ooh, I got a good one.
Say it.
Grant Hill.
Oh, man, that was going to probably be my choice. But I guess I would have to say Penny Hardaway.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good question. All right, so clock is on now. Go.
Do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, Grant Hill. Coming out of college, he played for Duke, I believe. Yeah, played for Duke. And this kid was the potential Hall of Famer coming out of Duke. And he came in to the league, and Grant Hill had such high expectations, maybe future NBA champion, definitely a multi-all-star, maybe a few scoring titles, maybe a few MVPs. And then he was playing really good early in his career, and I believe he started his career with the Detroit Pistons. And he just had such a promising career, and then he moved. I believe he signed to Orlando Magic in free agency. I don't think he got traded. And then he played with Tracy McGrady in Magic. And ever since he got there, he had his injury prones. I believe he broke his ankle, like completely shattered his ankle. And that was the one injury that postponed his career and would delay his potential all-stars in his career, his MVPs, his scoring titles, whatever, or future champion. But obviously, he had such high hopes. Going into that first season in the Orlando Magic, he was having a really good season. I believe he was putting up 22 points a game or something like that with Tracy McGrady. And Tracy McGrady had really tough injuries throughout his career as well. And that's another one we could bring up in the future if we have another question like that. But anyway, back to Grant Hill. Ever since he broke his ankle, in the first season playing for the Orlando Magic, his career just completely went on a downfall. Who did he play for after the Magic? The Phoenix Suns? What did he do? You know what I mean? So his career went extremely down after he broke his ankle, and I believe the first year he played for the Orlando Magic. So
Jesus. And you guys can interrupt each other after he makes his first argument.
Okay.
Well, I think Penny Hardaway is more impactful more impacted on injury. Because Grant Hill, even though he did have those injuries, he did make it to the playoffs multiple times with that Sun team, with the Clippers team. He was a very still efficient player through his career, but after Penny Hardaway's multiple knee injuries, this man at one point was a Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan really blew up. Very athletic, drove to the rim and had played with Shaquille O'Neal. Went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and we already know who won that is Michael Jordan. And Penny Hardaway made the point guard position a little more fun after Magic left the game. He was people wanted to be who he was. He still has an iconic shoe, if I'm not mistaken. There the foam posite. So they're still popular. They still know who he is. And I think that team, people say that team could have went on and won multiple championships without the injuries and without Shaquille O'Neal, end up leaving to the Lakers the previous years. But his career ended so fast just due to the one injury that we only saw a good solid 3 seasons out of him when people had the potential to him being a future Hall of Famer. Yes, he's having a beautiful career right now being a high school coach and stuff. But I think Penny Hardaway was it was stolen from him so quickly because he had such potential that people knew that he was going to be good. At least Grant Hill had his time.
Now you mentioned him playing with Shaquille O'Neal, and I agree. If Shaq would have stayed there, it would have been very competitive. But you did mention that Penny Hardaway had 3 good solid years, and he was compared to Magic Johnson of his era or whatever. When Magic Johnson got caught with the HIV. And,
he was on the declining years.
Yeah. Do you really think that with hurt Penny Hardaway and a Shaq, they would have got it done? Because they did go to the finals, and I believe they got swept against the Houston Rockets, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, and those are a very excellent team. But Grant Hill, even though he had those injuries, he still had, I think, an 18-year-long career.
Yeah.
That maybe it wasn't fulfilled as people thought it was, but Penny Hardaway...
ever since Grant Hill's ankle injury, he was never the same player.
Penny Hardaway only played, I think, 10 seasons, and at the end of his career, he started jumping team to team.
Yeah.
But a guy who we saw so much potential from that we didn't see even a glimpse of it. It just was stolen from the fans of Orlando and the fans of Hardaway that we didn't get to witness a guy who could have changed the game. He was explosive. He went to the rim just like a small forward was. He was a almost basically a point forward. When in Grant Hill's career, we actually got to witness, even if it was a small glimpse of what the old Grant Hill
20
was.
seconds.
But I think that if Shaq would have stayed, they would have never won a ring with Penny Hardaway because he did have his knee problems and other significant injuries. I mean, I think Grant Hill is the better answer here because he had, I believe, he had a longer career than Penny Hardaway, but after he had that one injury such early in his career, he just was never the same. And I know you said that Penny Hardaway had a shorter career, but he decided that due to his knee injury, which is a more significant injury, but still, I think Grant Hill, his ankle injury, when he first went to Orlando Magic to play with Tracy McGrady, he was never the same player ever again. And I believe Penny Hardaway still had a few more seasons to prove himself because he was still a good player. But
Grant Hill might go to the Hall of Fame maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
All right, well, that's time. That was a really solid argument. Jesse, I like your... Well, one, you came out the gate and you sounded like you knew your answer before you even
I was gonna pick Grant Hill too because everyone does say that.
Yeah, Grant Hill's.
But I just feel like Penny Hardaway gets no love.
Yeah, like you did it with confidence, and also you backed it up with like facts of where he came from and what teams he played for.
Yep.
So I really like that. That was
Magic.
And you said how he did average a good amount of points with Tracy McGrady on his team, a star at the time.
Yeah, developing star too.
But Jesus said how efficient Grant Hill was even in his declining years. So and
that played in the league forever.
And Jesus also.
I don't know about that.
I wish you went more into potential because They used to have comparisons back in the day that Grant Hill coming out of high school and college, that he might have been the next.
They say he was LeBron James before LeBron James.
Yeah, so I wish we would dive into that, because Jesus, with the MJ potential and with the shoes, that he's still influential, and you almost had it at the very end, Jesse. If you would have just said that Penny Hardaway hung it up when he knew like he couldn't go, and Grant Hill kind of suffered on almost. If you would have said that, I wouldn't like to hear that.
I tried to get to that point, but I didn't say it.
Yeah, I heard it almost coming, but I didn't hear it finish. And also, even at the very last comment, almost, Jesus said Grant Hill still might be a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that kind of almost killed it for me.
That's up in the air, though.
Just because he said how Penny Hardaway started his career good, and then kind of just 3 years in, he didn't suffer through his injury. Like, Grant Hill still played throughout it, and he still was kind of
still a good knockdown shooter later in his career.
He didn't fall off the map entirely. But yeah, the first point, I give it Jesus by not crazy, but it was a close matchup.
All right.
And now I'm gonna love this next argument. Players within the last 3 draft class who you would like to start a franchise with the most.
In the last three
draft
classes?
So we're talking the Russell one. We're talking the last one. Ooh, I can't think of the first drafted player.
Trying to think here.
Ingram. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Was Anthony Davis 3 years ago?
No.
He's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of this last draft class here.
I'm gonna go like out of the way of saying, everyone's probably gonna say Andrew Wiggins or Karl Anthony Towns. I'm gonna my choice is gonna have to be Devin Booker.
Okay.
Devin Booker.
Jesse, you got an answer?
Go ahead. I'll go with the best player to have the best future. Is that the question?
Who you would want to start a franchise with?
I'll go with Karl Anthony Towns.
All right, fight.
I'll go first on this one. Devin Booker, he is just 19 years old, 20 years old, very young. And we had to go. It's a guard-driven league. Big man is very excellent, but let's be honest. These big guys, they're not going to be dribbling up and down the court. When you have the ball in your hand, 90% of the time, you are going to be more effective on the offensive side of the ball, which we already know is his offensive game. It has changed. Guys don't really play defense as they do back then. Devin Booker, very, very good knockdown shooter off the dribble, in screens, can get a guy open, attracts multiple people towards him, so it makes him even more threat. Yes, he is suffering right now being on a team that isn't contending, but that just gives him time to grow. That gives the Phoenix franchise more space to add players to him. They want to build around Devin Booker at such a young age because they know the potential is far to see from right now. This guy, maybe, I could see him being a little smaller, like a Klay Thompson. He has great confidence in what his game is about. He goes out there and thrives every night. The guy's not even 20 years old, if 20 years old, and having 30-point nights and 10 assists, 5 assists. So you can see that this guy's an all-complete player, and he already has the confidence that he is going to be a future All-Star.
Okay, you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to say Karl Anthony Towns because a lot of people and a lot of GMs in today, if they would pick a player where they would start a whole franchise with, I believe most of the percentage was Karl Anthony Towns over LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, like the MVP caliber players now. And down the line in the future, I think Karl Anthony Towns will be an MVP caliber player. I don't ever see that in Devin Booker. He's a solid player, but Karl Anthony Towns, he came out of Kentucky, and that was the season they were undefeated until the Final Four, until Wisconsin shockingly beat them, and then they lost. Then Wisconsin,
Frank
Kaminsky, and Sam Decker, and then Wisconsin lost to Duke in the final. But that doesn't matter. I think Karl Anthony Towns, if you look at him, Devin Booker was putting up, I think he's averaging about 20 points a game now, and Karl Anthony Towns is putting up about 21.5, so it's a little bit significant better than Devin Booker. You can't forget, though, Karl Anthony Towns is a big man, but he could also shoot the three. He could also bully people down in the post. He could rebound the ball. He could play defense. I don't think Devin Booker has the all-around game better than Devin Booker, and down in the career, I could really see Karl Anthony Towns being an MVP caliber player, like I said. And look who is assistant coach on the Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is a huge motivator to Karl Anthony Towns. And if you think about it, Kevin Garnett, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. He played for Minnesota Timberwolves for a good amount of years, and they went to the playoffs. And I think that assistant coach could really be on the upside of Karl-Anthony Towns' future, because if you think about it, the Timberwolves, they were lucky to get that first overall pick, and they were lucky Karl-Anthony Towns was that promising and how he developed so quick into the NBA. Like you mentioned, Devin Booker's 20 years old. I believe Karl-Anthony Towns is 20 years old as well. And right now, Karl-Anthony Towns has a way better future than Devin Booker, and he's a way better all-around player.
All right, now why would you want to start your franchise with him? Either one talking to him.
I would start Karl-Anthony Towns with my franchise because he's just so young. He's so dominant. If you look at it, Devin Booker, yeah, he's a good piece maybe to add to a puzzle, maybe not start a franchise with, you know what I mean? But if you think of Karl-Anthony Towns, like, that's a big name. Like, you could start a franchise with. Like, comparing him to, like, LeBron James, up there with Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. And then if you think about Devin Booker, would you compare him to start a franchise with comparing him to LeBron James or Steph Curry's of the world or Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant?
I just think Devin Booker, he's such a great shooter. He's such a solid shooter, and he can dribble the ball up the court just like no other. He can dish the ball out to any guy who's open. And the last time we seen a big man win MVP, I think, was 2007 when Dirk Nowitzki was to win MVP. So we just don't see the big men winning MVPs like we used to. It's a guard-driven league, and he'll be amongst the Steph Currys, the Kyrie Irving, just like them, leading their team down the court, leading their team to W's. And it's just more attractive to players who are looking around because there's such good big men right now who, like LeBron James, KD, these are great big men. They want to play with a guard who can get them open, who can dish the ball to them. Because if a big man has no guards to make it a threat, they're just going to get bullied in the post. You're going to have everyone in the post and can't really let them thrive on what they do best. When Devin Booker is such a threat that you don't know where to guard him at, because if you foul him, he's going to be a great shooter at the line.
Okay, can I add one more thing or no?
You had much of the starting, much of the conversation. You go. Yeah, the 5 minutes is up. I'll start with Jesus this time. I started with Jesse last time. You came out swinging and you said small guys are more essential and more important to the league right now. Then you also said he got more time to grow since he's on a worse team. But Jesse came hot and fast with the GM poll. Karl-Anthony Towns was voted number one.
A really high percentage.
Not number one, but really high percentage. And he had the MVP potential. He's doing better right now. He got more skill. Then the back ended up with the KG. I wish you would have said that, like, when Jesus did counter and said that he's playing Devin Booker's playing amongst fellow guards, like Kyrie, like Curry. I wish you would have said that just proves how guards are almost easier to find and more dominant big men. But either way, I got the point going to Jesse. He did take up most of the talk time too, but that's where Jesus got to try to intercept and get time as well.
And I'll agree with Jesus here with the Devin Booker point. I mean, it is a guard-type league now, but I believe that big men will always dominate the NBA. Even though, like you did bring up him not winning an MVP, like big man winning an MVP ever since Dirk. Yeah. But it's really tough to think that big man will never be like the main focus of an NBA team.
The thing is that a big man, it's just so hard to argue with them because they're in a different league of their own. And I've just picked Devin Booker because I feel like he does get shadowed over these other guys who, the past couple first round draft picks have been big guys like Joel Embiid and all those guys.
I almost said
I was thinking Joel Embiid, but he's.
Yeah, I'm glad I said Cat.
Yeah. Now to the next question. We are almost at the 50-minute mark, so depending on how this goes, we might have to make this our last one, unfortunately. But let's see how it goes.
Hey, one more.
We'll see.
Now the last question, or maybe the last question. Who was the worst free agent signing this year?
Joakim Noah.
Okay, we got Joakim Noah for Jesus.
Oh my goodness, this is a great question. Joakim Noah.
Enough said, right? We should just
end it. That was a good one. I want to say Chandler Parsons.
That's
good one. All right, Jesus, you said first, so you got to start.
Joakim Noah. There's nothing to say. You say Chandler Parsons. The only reason Chandler Parsons isn't right now is because he's injured and there's nothing you can do about it. But when he's out there, he does put up points. Joakim Noah hasn't averaged 5 points in over 5 seasons or 4 seasons. Yes, he does have a Defensive Player of the Year, and that's on Chicago. But this man can't even get rebounds. He leads the team in no statistical categories. He has the lowest free throw shooting almost in the NBA. The man, yes, he's drunk. He did get injured, which does affect his game because he's not athletic. He's not really that skilled. He can't jump out the arena. So there's nothing that Joakim Noah. He's a decent passer at best, and especially in the triangle, it doesn't really attract him because they can't run it too well because their guard runs the ball up and down the court. So he's not even efficient in that. He's probably one of the worst shooters I've ever witnessed on a court, and it's bad to say, but Joakim Noah just can't play in this NBA anymore. He can't keep up. He's not on the court. When it comes down to clutch moments, he's not even out there. They don't look for him to do anything because he just can't do it correctly. When you're shooting air balls in game, there's a problem.
Okay, you good? The reason why I said Chandler Parsons is because, one, he's getting paid over $100 million a year, I believe. Maybe
95.
90, yeah, okay. $95 million.
Joakim Noah, 72. Just
yeah, okay. So Chandler Parsons getting more money. He's on the Memphis Grizzlies team. He's been injured most of this season, I believe. I think he's putting up maybe 5 or 6 points a game. And you said that Joakim Noah hasn't putting up 5 points a game for the past few seasons, but he's always been that type of player to play defense. And yeah, he's won a Defensive Player of the Year. And I don't even know if Chandler Parsons has been to an All-Star game. You know what I mean? So
He hasn't.
yeah, so I believe the Grizzlies really messed up on paying this dude over $95 million a year. He's not healthy. He's not, like you said about Joakim Noah, he's not leading the team in any team stats. I don't think Chandler Parsons is either. And ever since he left the Houston Rockets when he played with James Harden, he went to Dallas. He wasn't impressive in my opinion. He didn't really put up the significant amount of points he was hoping to when he signed a 2 or 3 year deal there. He wasn't worth $95 million. He still is not worth $95 million because he can't stay healthy. He's putting up about 6 points a game, and I don't know. When I first saw that signing, I was like, wow, Memphis Grizzlies completely wasted money because if you think about it, they spent over $140 million on Mike Conley. I really think they completely wasted money on Chandler Parsons when they could have got another piece, maybe like a Eric Gordon or something, because I know they were interested in Eric Gordon as well. And I know Chandler Parsons is a forward, but Eric Gordon could play the forward spot as well, and he could shoot. So
he's tiny. But once again, when Chandler Parsons does play, he is more efficient. He's more of a threat. Guys have to guard Chandler Parsons because he does have a deep ball. He can play defense. He can grab boards. Joakim Noah can't even play in the post, and he's almost 7 feet tall. This man, we witnessed just god-awful play in him because his pick and roll is pitiful because when he gets to the rim, he gets fouled and can't even shoot the free throw.
I think ever since he got injured when he played Chicago, it just hasn't been the same.
And he's another guy who's injury prone also. But you got to remember when Chandler Parsons, if he does get healthy one day, he will be an efficient player on that team. He will be not an all-star, but he will be an efficient player. When Joakim Noah is getting paid $72 million between 4 years, he's doing nothing for that team. At least when you have a Chandler Parsons, you have hope. You have, okay, if this guy does get healthy, he will be efficient.
I don't think they have hope because Chandler Parsons is younger than Joakim Noah, but if he's going to continue to get injured, maybe he'll hang it up soon too. And what do you think they'll do? They'll just pay this guy for just being at home?
Not as soon. Chandler Parsons, I promise you, will be out on this field, about on the court this season, and will have a game that he at least scores more than 20. When I think,
me too, but he's not going to be balling.
I don't think Joakim Noah will see a 15-plus point game in the rest of his career because the man's offensive game is that pitiful, and there's nothing you can say about it. At least we know Chandler Parsons can shoot the deep ball. Joakim Noah can't. I have nothing to say because he can't do it. Just think of anything, and he's not possible of doing it. Not even dunking the ball because the guy can't jump off of phone books.
I still think Joakim Noah still has somewhat defensive mind to his game. I mean, it's not showing like it when he's playing for my New York Knicks. But if you think about it, when you think of Chandler Parsons, what do you think of? Shooter. That's it. He doesn't really play.
It's a threat. Even if he doesn't shoot the ball, they're going to have to guard him because he is a threat. You can leave Joakim Noah at the free throw and know he can't knock that shot down.
Yeah, okay.
That's pitiful.
I agree, but I think if you think of Chandler Parsons, he's just known for a shooter. And then when you think of Joakim Noah, he's just that somewhat of the good maybe still good.
You don't even know what to
Defensive-
say. You don't
defensive
even know what to say.
time. It was a really close argument in the beginning, at least, and where I think Jesus just got ahead is he just went on further and further of the skill of Joakim Noah, and it's few to none. Like it's very, and I wish you would have responded back with is it worse that it might be even worse that Chandler Parsons hasn't played? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
especially
he's been injured this season. I saw
like
that.
yeah, like no, I wish you would have said I'd rather you're a guy that could at least play and step on the court and try to make a difference than a guy that doesn't even make a difference
okay.
at all.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that point, and also Jesus, he did average more than 5 points 2 years ago. He averaged 7.7, then he averaged 12.5 when he won Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
So that was a fact check I got for you. And yeah, I'm gonna just give the argument to Jesus just off the strong base of him.
Even when I said Joakim Noah, it was a hard argument for you to pick a different player. I must be honest.
No, honestly,
that was
in my mind when I made this question, I thought of Joakim Noah and Chandler Parsons.
Oh, wow.
And I wish you just would have went on further on how he's been basically useless.
Yeah, he has been useless.
Because there was a lot of when Jesus kept with the counters, you almost admitted that Chandler Parsons can knock down a shot, and Joakim Noah has no skill. You know what I mean? It really came down to the skill category.
But I don't think Chandler Parsons could play defense, and I think Joakim Noah still has defensive mind to his game.
Guys just get people blow past him because he can't move his hips because he has feet injuries.
And like I mentioned him Chandler Parsons getting paid more money, so I thought that would have been a
but
big
that's more
difference in
money.
argument.
Remember, that's more money over a long period of time than Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah is 4 years, $72 million, and most of it's guaranteed. And literally, I think I can shoot. I understand he is an NBA player, but I think I can shoot better than Joakim Noah. Even his shot is unappealing.
Yeah. All right, we're at 56 minutes.
We could get another one.
You guys feel one more, and if
Yeah,
Jesse wins, we'll go to the 5th round. If not, let's treat it like that. All right,
Okay.
I'm gonna pick a fun one. This question will make you think, though. It's gonna be: should NBA implement or take away anything from All-Star Weekend, and if so, what is it?
I say the skills challenge.
Take away?
Yeah.
All right.
What else is there? Skills challenge.
All right. Should they implement? Should they add? Should they throw something new in there?
Damn, that's tough. They got the celebrity game and all that. Oh my god. Shit.
I'm gonna take one away. I'm gonna take mine away. And if you want, you can take it. But I would like to see a one-on-one game between all-stars. That'd be pretty damn cool.
Fuck, I really don't know.
Unless Jesse takes skills challenge, you're gonna have to go with that though.
All right.
I'll
See.
take it.
All right.
All right.
Now, time is on Jesus.
I'm gonna say the one-on-one challenge. Could you imagine LeBron James going one-on-one against Kevin Durant, or Steph Curry once again going one-on-one against Kyrie Irving? I think they would take it a little bit more serious, and we would see more defense being played, because we all know during the All-Star there is no defense, because these guys don't want to be showed up against their peers. And maybe put a donation on the side, like, if you win this amount, the player that you're playing against has to donate this amount, and which I think both sides should get a donation, but I mean you get a more substantial donation to the side that you choose of, and it would just be awesome to see our top performers going head on head, because when you play one-on-one, that's pretty tough, right? You know what I mean? When you play a one-on-one game with someone else, it's actually tougher than playing in a team atmosphere, because you have someone pass the ball, get you open. When these guys have to do it by themselves, we would see true clutch shooting when someone's literally in your face. You don't have to worry about a screen. You could just see these all-stars go at it at their best conditions and their best abilities without being scared of getting injured or getting a foul. And it would just be two all-stars playing at the top of their game and seeing who is the best on the Mount Rushmore of NBA stars.
Okay, I'll counter first. They will never do that one-on-one, because they're not going to add... If they'll add something to the NBA, it'll be something else, which I can't think of right now, which isn't good to say on the mic, but whatever. I don't think they're ever going to put that one-on-one into the All-Star game, because they would just want to focus on the main things. Best dunker, best three-point shooter, the All-Star game, the young and upcoming rookies, sophomores, and then the skills challenge. The reason why I think the skill challenge is the least amount of attraction, because who wants to see someone do a bounce pass through a hoop? You know what I mean? Or go down the court and lay a ball up or shoot a three. Like, you know what I mean? I think those things are kind of like pointless in the All-Star game because we know who has the best skill in the NBA. I don't think it should be judged off a contest. Like, I believe Patrick Beverley won Skills Challenge of the year 1 year. And, like, I don't remember who he went up against because I remember I think he went up against, like, Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving, and, like, a bunch of other people. And, like, it's just... I think, like, if people think bouncing a ball in a hoop or passing a ball through a hoop or making a layup is really important to an All-Star game, like that's a joke. Like, we know who the real good skilled players in the NBA are, like Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, and like the top point guards in the league. Because I believe they even incorporated the big men doing it. Like, really, like you're gonna like have big men go against each other like with some skill, like. I think that's a joke.
Mm-hmm. Just once again, like, how could you not see these two guys out on the court playing a game to 11, old school basketball, bringing it back to the b-ball days.
Do it on a blacktop, not in front of thousands of people.
Well, people would love to see that because we never really get to, when KD does go up against LeBron in a game, it usually gets switched between two sides or one sitting on the bench when one guy is out. We never get to see true two talents go at it at each other. We would love to see these two guys who don't really, are fond of each other, like Draymond Green playing against LeBron James, of course, who, he says he can lock up anybody. Let's see if you can really lock them up by yourself.
But is it no more for them to like, hey, yo, like let's hit the park and just one-on-one there?
We want to see it though. Everybody wants to see it.
But I don't think it'll ever happen because like it's just a weird thing to incorporate into the All-Star game because they have enough. They got the celebrity game and I would just like
all
the others.
Some more competition.
It'll never happen. Sadly, it'd be nice to see, but the skills challenge, like, who cares if you put a ball through a hoop and make a layup? I'm sorry.
All right, is that all you guys got?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. As I'm eating chicken, because Jesus is trying to bribe the vote over here.
It's working now.
Now, when I said this question, what I had in mind was a 3v3 challenge, because that'd be dope.
That would be
we play it on 2K all the time, so that's kind of what I thought of. So Jesus saying 1v1 kind of brought me to that point almost, but I know Jesse didn't want to argue the skills challenge to begin with, but he did make some decent points saying who really wants to see it. Because after he was going through it, I was like, wow,
that's what I thought too.
They really just put a ball through a hoop, like literally threw a ball, a bounce pass through a hoop.
Who could do it faster?
Yeah, and he said Patrick Beverley won. What I would like to hear is that it would have been hard because, like, matchups. Like, you're going to have LeBron James against Isaiah Thomas. Like, how's that going to work?
Yeah.
So you could have questioned the rules.
I did incorporate the big man getting into it now, though. I think
but I also felt that Jesus had no counter to why they should keep the skills challenge. So, for that, I'm going to give the point to Jesse. Oh. So we're at 1:02 right now. So what we could do, here's our options. We could either ask one more question, or we could do is I could give you the next question ahead of time, and the next podcast you guys come prepared. It's one question, and you guys would have to come prepared for the next podcast, and we'll battle it then. But for now, we'll end on a tie.
Podcast.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You guys like that? I know Jesus got to go to sleep early. He works at 4:30. It's currently 11:30. Just to put that in perspective. So he's a trooper for staying it out. I'm a trooper for coming after work with a strep throat. But
do you want to introduce the question now?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'll introduce the question now. That's a good idea, Jess. All right, so the question, when it comes to, we're recording on Thursday, today's Tuesday, it's going to be, let me look, I got a whole list of questions.
Okay.
All right, screw it, I'll just go with this one. What team has the brightest future, the Lakers or the Timberwolves?
Okay,
so,
really
wait, on 3, you guys are going to have to say your answer, and whoever says it first is going to have to choose that. 1, 2, 3.
Lakers. I'll go with T-Wolves. I like a challenge.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because you guys legit said at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. Jesse got Lakers. Jesus got Timberwolves. This will be solved on the next podcast, episode 9, where we also will bring our power rankings. And we'll talk about, which we didn't talk about today, the most impressive performance of the season. So definitely stay tuned for that, guys. And you guys got anything else to say?
Nope.
All right, we're at 1:04.
Peace.
And I think we're good.
Listening.
We're out.
Good. Peace.